Welcome to Ignite by White Ribbon Alliance Kenya. This podcast is about voices, accountability, and igniting a movement for reproductive, maternal, and newborn health rights. Here, we bring you stories that inspire change, amplify the voices of the unheard, and hold self and decision makers accountable. Together, we aim to spark conversations and actions that lead to healthier, more equitable future for women, newborn, and families. In this episode, we are talking to Naomi Mutiso, a passionate midwife and advocate with over 20 years of active experience in midwifery. Naomi has been at the forefront of maternal and newborn care, dedicating her life to supporting families through their most vulnerable moments. Karibu Naomi.
Asante sana.
You have witnessed mothers leave hospitals empty-handed, broken, husbands shattered. How does that impact you personally as a midwife?
It is really stressful to me and also to other midwives. You get a lot of emotional stress. A midwife wants to deliver. You want to get a healthy mother and a healthy baby. You want to prevent any maternal or neonatal mortality as much as possible, especially the preventable ones. Mm-hmm. So when such event happens, it is not easy. It is not easy for me. It is not easy for any midwife, Angel. Not easy at all. You are sad. You grieve. Sometimes midwives grieve. We cry. I have several, not once, not twice, cried. But you cannot, of course, you cannot cry in front of the mother. But you cry. You go inside and ask yourself, what have I not done right? Yeah. Or what went wrong? Sometimes you are not even able to get the answer. But it is a bad feeling. You cannot imagine a woman going home, because when they are coming to the hospital, of course, to deliver, they come with their baby layette, they come with even basins. Yeah. Now you see them going home, carrying the bags full of the clothes for the newborn.
And no babies.
No babies.
And have you experienced where fathers go home without their wives? The wives have passed. Right?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Yeah. We have seen fathers cry. I've seen fathers roll on the floor. They roll. I've seen them crawl, not knowing where to begin. They cannot even comprehend what has happened. You cannot even be able to explain to them because they are uncontrollable. You cannot control their cry. You cannot control their grief. So it is a bad, very bad feeling for me and for the other midwives. It makes us feel so guilty. Sometimes you are not even able to forgive yourself, and you have not done anything wrong.
Midwives are often seen as the backbone for maternal health care. Yes. Yet the systems seem to fail you time and again. Who or what do you think is failing midwives?
There are very many things that fail the midwife. Yeah. The systems fail. The midwives have the knowledge that they need to be frontliners. Yeah. But sometimes there is no human resource. That is system. You have a client, for example, with postpartum hemorrhage, and this is postpartum hemorrhage. You want to assist this client. There are no functional theater maybe in your facility. Sometimes there are no very simple equipments that you're supposed to use in terms of supply. You have no gloves. There are gloves that we call gynecological gloves that you want maybe to use them to be able to protect yourself. Lack of PPEs. So when the systems are not giving us enough supplies, they are not giving us enough equipment to use, they really fail the midwife. Sometimes, maybe you have everything that you need, but you are only one midwife. You are one midwife, and you are in a setup, like in my setup, you can deliver 30 women in 24 hours.
And you are alone.
And you are alone. Sometimes you are two midwives. You are examining these women, you are admitting them. And remember, in our setting, midwife is the front line. When a patient or a mother comes, the first person to meet that client is a midwife. Mm. The other people come later, but it is a midwife. So you are there with your 4-5 clients. Maybe all of them want to deliver at the same time.
Last stage of delivery.
Oh yes, you are there and you are alone. It becomes so stressful. If I explain to you whatever happens, you can even wonder which country we are living in or which era we are living in.
Do you have a moment that has stayed with you where you felt helpless as a midwife?
Yeah, there are many, but one I remember so well, that a lady, a young lady who came, brought by the spouse, of course, to the hospital. Early enough. In fact, I remember that time I was doing my night shift, and when they came, everything was okay. My examination, everything was right. There was no issue. The mother was healthy. The baby was alive inside the uterus, or the fetus was alive, and we continued. But in the process, we realized that this woman could not. The baby was big. She could not be able to deliver naturally this baby. I asked for the theater team. I remember the doctor was around. The doctor came and the theater was ready, but we could not get the anesthetist. We called the anesthetist. He said that he's coming. He's on the way coming. And we waited. We waited, Angel. We waited. This woman, she got a condition called obstructed labor. She had a CPD. She could not push this baby. Remember, it's the first time for her to deliver. So we waited. We could call. There was the anesthetist could not pick the call. We even went to call another one to be able to come, but she was a bit far. So before the second one came, it was a bit late. I remember we tried to look for that fetal heart, that breathing from that uterus. We could not find. I looked for it on the left side of the womb, on the right, everywhere. We could not get it. And this woman, remember, she had come early enough. The second anesthetist arrived at around 5 a.m., almost 6 a.m. And we went to theater. We went to theater, and after cesarean section, we got a 3,900 grams female infant that was a fresh stillbirth, just a fresh one, stillbirth. It was a big baby, just helpless, breathless, just there without, we have given the mother a scar. She stayed for long with obstructed labor that can lead even to fistulas.
Fistula.
Yeah, fistulas. Already she had a catheter. We had inserted an indwelling catheter, Foley's catheter. It was already showing signs of obstruction. There was blood coming out. So we could suspect even we might be having a fistula. Or something has happened, and now here is the baby. The baby is dead. We stayed with that woman. She cannot, of course, go home with this catheter. So she stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks, 14 days, without a baby. She could cry. I remember she was a very light-skinned lady. She could cry, she become pink. She was uncontrolled. You cannot control her cry. She cried for almost those 14 days. And she went home. Little did we know that even much has happened. That woman, 7 years down the line, she stayed without getting another baby. Yes. She looked for senior consultants, and she was told that the tubes were bilaterally blocked. We don't know what happened, but they were blocked until 7 years. So after 7 years, they had even to do some arambe so that they can get the tubes unblocked. So I remember that incident just like the other day.
Thank you very much for sharing. When you see families grieve preventable losses, do you believe these stories that White Ribbon Alliance Kenya is trying to tell now, to amplify now?
A lot. Because sometimes, even in the Bible says that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. When the world hears, when the systems they are informed about this, when even midwives hear about these stories, because I can tell you for free, there are other losses that are caused by the system, the healthcare workers, the midwives. Okay, so when we hear those stories, it sometimes tells you something, that you're supposed to do more, that you're supposed to be more careful, that you're supposed to know this is life that you are losing. Yeah, so the stories are very important.
There's the role midwives play, but then there's the healthcare systems that have to be, built to ensure that midwives deliver. You remember the Midwives Voices, Midwives Demands campaign, where we sought to hear from midwives on what do they want to be able to deliver better? And there were so many things that were said, and some of them are not in the midwives, capability. It's systems, it's government, it's policymakers. What's your message to the government and to the policymakers?
My first and foremost message is that even midwives need to be in those policy making tables.
Okay.
Yes, they need to be there, because policies, the midwives are policy users. You need to have those users also in that policy making, and not midwives maybe in colleges and other. No, midwives who are hands-on active midwives to be on those policy making tables, so that they can say and they can tell, make policies that are doable, that are achievable. Because sometimes we make policies, but those policies are not sometimes smart.
Not applicable.
They are not applicable. They are not applicable. We are making them because we are supposed to make policies.
Most times midwives are never celebrated for the work you do. What keeps you inspired to continue serving despite the immense challenges that you face every day?
Sometimes, Angel, we are inspired by, it is our work.
Yeah.
So sometimes we are inspired because of course I have to go to work.
Yes.
Yeah, that is one. Number two, we are inspired by wanting to do better. Like personally, I wake up every morning because I want to do better than I did yesterday. So that also inspires me. I saw a condition yesterday that was a bit challenging. I want to see whether I will be able to manage it better today.
The world has a shortage of over 900,000 midwives, according to a report in 2021.
Yes.
And we know that is, of course, affecting mostly the global south.
Yes.
In Kenya specifically, how is the shortage affecting your delivery to mothers?
Midwives and nurses are leaving the country, of course, going for greener pastures. Yeah. Others are even exiting because maybe of retirement, and there's no employment. There's no employment. I remember when I first went to maternity almost 20 years ago, the maternity setting, we were 38. Today we are 15.
More than half have dropped.
Oh yes,
and
38.
You're still serving a bigger population.
We are serving that bigger population. So tell me, what magic do we do? What magic do we do? So the shortage is really affecting the service delivery.
If I gave you a decision to sit with the president today, like let's go to State House, what is that one thing you'll tell him to do that you will know will save the mothers of this country?
His Excellency the President, sir, for healthcare system and for us to be able to improve maternal and newborn health in our country, we need to invest on midwives. Midwives are key. Midwives are the forefront. They are the ones who receive and manage these women and their babies. And unless we seriously invest on them, then we are losing it.
My last question is about Linda Mama. And there has been a lot of discussions about it, but I would love to hear from an experience of you and the mothers you serve who took advantage of that platform to take care of their bills.
Yes.
How is that affecting how outcomes currently without it? And do you think the new system can still deliver equal success as Linda Mama?
Okay, I want first to say it is very unfortunate that we have no Linda Mama or another health insurance, not a must Linda Mama. It can still have another name, but an insurance that will be able to cater for mothers.
And Shift SHA is not helping mothers deliver?
It is helping. It is helping, but it only helps when they register. If they have not registered, then it will not be able to help them. But there's a difference between SHA and Linda Mama. Linda Mama, remember, it was free. There was a package.
Yeah.
That
directly
was
for you.
Directly for that woman.
Yeah.
But this one, you have to get an insurance.
Yeah.
Even during Linda Mama time, there was also NHIF. And people without NHIF could use Linda Mama. Yeah. So they are different. Now the SHA is like the NHIF now, the insurance now.
Without Linda Mama.
Without Linda Mama.
Do you feel like the government has done enough sensitization on this shift? Because I remember almost every woman knew about Linda Mama.
Yes.
Do you feel like we failed in terms of delivering information to women for them to be able to take advantage of this?
Information, yes, is being told all over, but in this country, you know, our information cascades.
Yeah.
It takes time.
We still have work to do.
Yeah, we have a lot to do. A lot, I can tell you, a lot to do.
Thank you for sharing your insight. Our call is for you to continue igniting. And thank you for joining the show today.